guys, today's video is going to be a book review of Star Wars Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp. Now, this is a very interesting book from the Star Wars canon, being as it's based mainly around Lords of the Sith, Darth Vader, and Emperor Palpatine. Like, what else is there to say about that? The two are involved in a plot to take them down and have to survive using, well, very limited resources. And it's very interesting because it doesn't just focus solely on them, but it does focus pretty primarily on them. The book also focuses pretty heavily on the Twi'leks of Ryloth, which is a world that has been discussed in various other bits of media, mainly the Clone Wars and the Rebels TV show. I've never gotten around to seeing Rebels, but I'm going to at some point. One of the leaders of Ryloth, Cham Syndulla, has been in the Clone Wars. He's definitely been in the Rebels TV show because his daughter was on it I think she was a main character as I recall. And he's in here, and she's mentioned quite a bit as well. The Twi'leks themselves are well known as, well, slaves. We first see them in the films as, well, Jabba's slave girl before Leia. But this aspect of them gets a bit more fleshed out in here because we meet Isval, who is Cham's love interest throughout this, and she was a former slave and managed to free herself and then takes it upon herself to enact vigilante justice against mainly Imperials, but just anyone that's, like, hurting the slaves and tries to keep the slaves safe. She's an interesting character because she kind of falls into this weird, strong female character thing, but she also is kind of a strong female character. It's, Isval is an interesting character. She's very flawed, but she does have some redeeming qualities. It's hard to say what to think about her as a character. Cham, likewise, is a very interesting character. He's really developed quite well here. I don't remember him very well in the Clone Wars show. I need to rewatch like the first 5 seasons because I couldn't see season 6, and then they're all on Disney Plus now, and so this book was pretty interesting from the point of view of it's a villain book, effectively. The main characters, or the mainest main characters, being the villains, and even the non-main characters, or not the non-main characters, but the sort of secondary characters, the less main characters than the Sith Lords that are the titular ones in the book. They are, well, they kind of come and go between terrorist freedom fighter. Cham literally is having to reassure himself regularly that he's a freedom fighter, not a terrorist. That's how deep that goes. And as much as you, like, want Cham to win, you know he's not going to because it's set before A New Hope and all of that. But also, like, the whole thing is you kind of want to see Vader and Palpatine win because they're the characters you know, and they're the characters that are just like that. But also you want Cham to win. You want Isval to be able to keep going with freeing people. You want to see what happens when the Emperor will get taken down. But also the Emperor's a Sith Lord that no one else knows about. And so it's just a bit weird. I do like villain books from time to time because some of them really do it excellently. Really, really well. And this one's pretty good. The rest of the plot in and of itself isn't necessarily like the most groundbreaking story, but it's pretty interesting. The sort of setting up of a lot of things in Rebels, as I understand it, is there's a lot in here. The character of Belcor Dre is a very interesting one. He's so ambitious, but he's also a prick He's just not a very pleasant character in the slightest, but he's interesting. That's the thing to be said. He's definitely just a prat, but he's been a prat that's put in so many different sets of competingly bad circumstances for him that, well, he's kind of screwed no matter what way he goes in so many ways. The character of Moff Moores in this book is very interesting because she's very much stated to be Hut-like. She's overweight, she's not performing well, she's indolent is one of the words that they say about quite a few times throughout the book, and she's not at her peak performance, and not quite sure what to make of that for like fat representation-ish, but like she's also a lesbian, and it feels like she's a bit just thrown in as token representation. And granted, that's kind of what you kind of have to do for some sort of work like this. It ends up being very tokenistic, but at the same time, like, look at who's the one that she's being portrayed as. She's like a good Moff. She's a good military person. She just has had a dreadful loss that put her on bad habits and stuff, but also she's working for the Empire, and oh god, she's working for the Empire. It's not a great situation for anyone to really be in, because, well, that's just going to end up with you getting killed on the Death Star or something. And that's not just that, she's also working for a fascist regime. Like, granted, she could be like one of the holdovers of decent officers from when it was still the Republic, but like they didn't do that much on that front. It's yeah, conflicted on that. And I think that's all my thoughts on the book. It's pretty good, but like there's some problematic potentially bits in there that are a bit meh, but it's decent. It's a good book. In the comments down below, tell me your favourite villain story. There's got to be one where you've sort of taken on the villain as being a decent character, or at least an interesting character with a lot of good story potential in there, or just from the point of view of the villain. Let me know. I want to know, so tell me down below. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you remember to like and share it and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnails over there to see some of my previous videos. I think that there's some that you'll enjoy, so check them out, and yeah, see you next time.